Welcome to another episode of the Whiskey House Pub House. This isn't take 4. My name's Dylan, and we're going to try some French oak bourbon, hopefully. Let's get into it. All right, so French oaked bourbon. What does that mean? It's in the title. Obviously, it has something to do with French. Yes, well, so typically bourbon is aged in new American oak, white oak especially, or specifically, bourbon barrels, or just barrels. Now, what a French oak is typically it's used in wine. It's a little bit of a different flavor profile, maybe a little bit more nutty, vanilla, than the American oak. So it's got different flavor profiles. So a lot of companies use it as a finishing of sorts to add kind of a more impact to a spirit. And how do they do that? Well, you could do a literal barrel made of French oak. Or you could do other ways, staves, wood chains, cubes. There's a couple different variations. And the most famous of them all for French oaked bourbons is probably going to be one that you're familiar with. Maker's 46. Now, Maker's is a wheated bourbon. Obviously, we know that. If you don't, welcome to the channel. 46 refers to the stave profile that International, or ISC, International Stave Company, came up with. It was their 46 profile. That's the one Maker's Mark liked. 46, that's what it means. It is the stave profile number recipe. So I've heard some other people say that it's like, actually I don't know, like how many staves are in the barrel or something. I think I've heard that one. It's actually a lot more simple than that. It's just a profile. So the 46th profile. This is made with soft winter wheat, and it is 47%. Now, it's delicious. It's amazing. Great. Is it the only French oaked bourbon out there? No. We have another one. Penelope Architect. Now, this is MGP juice, Rossum Squib. Previously sourced, now is not sourced because they were purchased by Rossum Squib. So what they're doing is they're using a bunch of different distilled bourbon. You might be familiar with their 4-grain. Well, they actually make up their mash bill by mixing different recipes that MGP produces. And that's where they get their blended recipe of, let's see if I remember this. I think it's 74% corn, 21% rye, and 4% malted barley. Does that check out to the math? 75, 21, 4. I already forgot if I said that. It's been a long day. This is non-chill filtered. It is 104 proof or 52% alcohol, so a lot higher than the Maker's. And this is actually build number 7. They have different batches, and if you look on the back, it kind of got like a different chart that, each batch might favor a certain preference or profile over another. So you can get different ones and try them side by side and see which ones you like. I had an older one that Whiskey Boy had, and I did not like it. I have had a little bit of this, and memory serves, I like this a lot more. But it says it's very high in oak perception on the nose. So yeah. But if you notice, I have 3 glasses here. That is because this month 2XO released their French oak. So the month of August, this just came out, as far as you know. This is actually the lowest proof. This is 45%. We do not have a full disclosed mash bill. However, I checked 2XO's website, and they say it has a moderately high mash bill consisting of approximately 18% rye. So yeah, you could figure out the remaining, what is that, 82%? It's probably corn and some malted barley somewhere. Anyways, all right, this is what we're going to do. We're going to try some of these. We're going to know some of these. I'm going to tell you the price on these. And then you, the educated viewer, can make a decision. Whether or not it's to listen to me, that's to be determined. But let's try that. And I think I'm going to actually do this based off of proof. So we'll put the lowest first, the maker's in the middle. You don't have to watch this. So what have you guys been up to lately? Cheating. All right, let's start. Let's give these a minute to breathe. I will relay my local market price on some of these. So the 2XO French oaked, of which there is an American oaked, by the way. So it's pretty much just a double oak. It's a barrel of whiskey that they put more American oak into and kind of like double oaked it. So kind of like a Woodford double oaked. It's double oaked. Not this one, the other one. American oak. Blue label. There you go. On the same page. So the 2XO, I'm going to take a guess, $47 in my area. The Maker's Mark 46, $32. And the Penelope is $66. Now, these are like, $31.99 and $35.99. I rounded up a cent, kill me or whatever. So, off the bat, best value. That has more proof to it. Does that justify the cost? And why is this so much in comparison? It's lower. Maybe it's 18% rye? Who knows? I don't believe so. I think is wheat more expensive? I don't know. All right, on the nose, the 2XO. It has a very nice cherry, not medicinal, a dessert cherry, like a sundae, candied sundae. It's kind of like like a red dilly bar. How you think it smells. Yeah. And then it's just weirdly waxy and red dye, number 42. Tasting. There is no indication of youth on it. I should say that this is technically the only one definitively age stated. This is 4 years old. It says it on the back. Now, these do not have an age statement. They're all straight bourbons. So they're at least 4 years old because they do not have an age statement. If it just says straight, you can have it at 2 years old. However, it needs a age statement of some sort. If it is under 4 but over 2, then it can say straight, but it has to have an age statement. So there is no youth notes on this, like you may think. I think on the American oak, I was detecting more of a corn smell. It seemed more youthful, but yeah, man, it's great. It's just super cherry. No funk. It's good. All right. Maker's Mark 46. Even softer. This is the second recording that I did. I finished the first one, and then somehow my audio is messed up. So I have smelled these before and tasted these. And this is even more soft and silky almost. There's no harsh notes on the nose at all. It's just completely toned and just very nice and uniform. Even compared to the first time that I did this. Man, off the nose, this thing wins. But ain't the whole story. So on Penelope Architect. Yeah, I mean, it's higher alcohol content. It's got a lot more, that alcohol hit on the nose. And the good flavors that should be there are harder to find. For me, if you're someone that listens to our podcast, which we do have, go check that out. I say frequently, I have a hard time smelling bourbons, especially high proof bourbons. 104, in comparison to these, it's getting harder to pick out stuff. But it's more like a medicinal cherry, kind of like a cough drop. It's still good. Not bad. Not as good as the other two. So we'll go on to the taste. All right, 2XO French Oak. See, now this has more of a medicinal taste than what the smell was. It does have a little bit of spice, whether or not that's coming from the rye, the moderately high rye mash bill of 18%, or the French oak impact. It's hard to tell. Maybe when we go on to the makers, we can tell what the French oak is bringing and what the rye is bringing. Yeah, there's a little bit of nuttiness. It's nice oak. It's not overpowering. There is a lot of spice on that finish. And it doesn't drink like a low proofer. Now, I'm sure that's probably some sort of balance between the blending that Dixon Dedman's doing and the combination of French oak. Because, 45% is not... It's not the floor. It's not high either. So the fact that it is very reasonable in tasting, it's nice. That was the third sip. Yeah, no youth on the taste whatsoever. It's just kind of a nice peppery spice cherry, more medicinal. And it just lingers forever. That's pretty good. I'm going to say, not bad. $47. We'll see how it stacks against the other two. So now, the Maker's Mark with his soft red winter wheat. Oh man, the nose is so good. Let's go back to that dilly, the dip dilly bar. Oh man, it looks like this. If this tasted like how it smelled, I would completely eat the wax on that. All right, tasting. The French oak plays so well with the soft palate that is being brought forth because of the red wheat. Oh man, it's so balanced. I'm not a huge fan of regular Maker's Mark because it doesn't really leave you with a lingering finish. It's just kind of it's a nice flavor. It's gone really quickly, but this with the French oak, it plays off the subtlety of the mid palate, and the French oak adds to the finish perfectly. So you get cherry, this candied cherry up front. In the middle is that soft, nice wheat. And the end is that spicy French oak, but it's not spicy like the 2XO was. But this in Manhattan, probably fire. Second sip. Man. This would be a good go-to daily. And remind you, it's only $32. Check your local area. These, I'm sure, fluctuate all the time. But for me, this was 32, 47, 66. All right, on to the Penelope Architect. 104 proof. It's very astringent. It's dry. Very spicy and hot. Whoa. Spicy and hot, but you know what? It's probably not going to be as spicy and hot as the live stream that we're doing Monday at 3 p.m. We're going through the 10 hot sauces from Hot Ones. So if you want to see me in pain and some of my friends, join us then. And if it's past that, it's on YouTube. You can watch it. Also, the live stream would be there too. So, yeah, back to the Penelope. It is dry, hot, spicy, oaky. It lingers is the good thing. The flavor's still here, but it's not nice cherry fruity like these other two were. I mean, super cherry, a little bit. This is just hard, almost. Second sip. It's a little bit better. The initial is confectionery sweetness. And it goes into medicinal, like cough drop. It's very dry. Astringent. Like I said, really nothing new. But ranking. What would I do? Let's see. Flavor alone, I would do Penelope last, followed 2XO, Maker's Mark. With price in mind, I would do Penelope, 2XO, and Maker's Mark. I really think if you have not had a French oaked bourbon, this is your best starting place. You can go get this bottle and the regular Maker's Mark and probably make it out of the door of that liquor store for $50 and compare both of them. Or you could make it out of the store for around $50 with the 2XO French oaked. I'm impressed for this because of the balance of the blending. Not necessarily for the subtleties or flavor that the French oaked is imparting. And this is hot. I'd say try to find this at a bar for over $60. There's a lot of other stuff you can do. I know in our area, Minnesota, Lucky 7, I think does have a French oak, but Nulu is what I was thinking of. Nulu just came out and is finally distributed to Minnesota, and that I think is around the same price. So definitely worth a pickup. Try that. I'm not sure about that thing. But, well, if you think there's any French oak that I should have had on this to compare, let me know. Otherwise, hopefully this helped you. And join us for that live stream at 3 o'clock on Monday. It's going to be a face melter. And thanks for joining me, the Whiskey House Pub House. We'll see you next time.